They've announced a new Hellboy movie, Hellboy the Crooked Man, which I'm sure means something to comic book fans, but I didn't read them. The movie has the director Brian Taylor making this one. He made the Crank movies. And I'm not sure what else he's made. Honestly, I think it's a strange pick, since he hasn't really got anything else big to his name. As far as I'm aware, he's been making movies for a while now, so that's pretty much it. It's unfortunate that Del Toro didn't get his third movie, back then or now, completing what would have been a trilogy, although he does have Shape of Water, which is a spiritual successor, that proved that he could make a great new entry into the series, even if the company refused to give the rights to him. Even though he brought the movie to the screen, and it's how many people are even aware of the series to begin with, but it also, Shape of Water was the biggest movie of that year, and I think it won the award as well, making it higher rated than any Hellboy movie, and it's most likely going to remain that way. And even if we didn't get to see Hellboy, we did get to see Doug Jones basically reprise his role. They're not the same character, but obviously they're supposed to look like the same species. I guess the silver lining is that trilogies are rarely good all the way through. Normally the last one is the worst for whatever reason. Look at Aliens, Terminator, and then of course those series went even further downhill. And then you go back and you're like, well, now that I think about it, the third one wasn't actually that bad, especially after everything that came after it. Just like Hellboy had that reboot, but Hellboy is missing that third one. All of these movies got, plus there's always that chance that the third one is great, like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, because there was only 3 of those. But we'll never get to see it, which sucks. Please give us this most likely disappointing, possibly great third entry and give it to us now. More disappointing news, more than Del Toro not coming back, is that Ron Perlman won't either, since this is a reboot and they want someone younger so that they can build a series out of it. And it won't go to David Harbour either, since we've seen what happened the last time. I don't think it was as bad as other people thought, but it was disappointing. In fact, it's pretty forgettable, as I barely remember anything from it. Maybe on top of it being poorly made is that it didn't have any of the original people in it, which would have helped, or just anything interesting at all could have worked. Ron Perlman, though, did say himself that he would return to the role if it was offered to him, even though the dude is like 70 years old, which is making me think that 70 isn't actually that old. I mean, Stallone just did Rambo just a few years ago, and I think he was older than Perlman is now. I guess there's a fun fact for you, Stallone is older than Ron Perlman is. It sounds like it's already confirmed that the new Hellboy will be played by Jack Kelsey, though, who played a minor role in Deadpool 2. He was a prisoner with dreads, who I think picks a fight with Deadpool. I don't really have any high hopes for how the character will look, but since I haven't actually seen this guy in much, I can't really judge how he will look or act in the role. Good news for fans, at least of the comics, as it sounds like they're going back to the comics and making it closer to the source material and previous installments. It also sounds like they're planning to make this a series of movies, though I'm sure that they were planning that with the last one, and look how that turned out. But they would have made Perlman not returning make a little bit more sense. Imagine if the series does work and then they decide to give Del Toro his shot at finally making another movie, and it's just an Abe Sapien origin story. That shit would be hilarious. I've seen that the movie already has a synopsis of its plot. Basically, Hellboy and some other guy get stuck in Appalachia during the 1950s and discover a small town that is haunted by witches. From the sounds of it, it'll have action, but it'll be more grounded. That's sort of what I'm guessing. I've noticed a lot of comic book movies and shows lately have had success focusing on smaller or more specific stories that only big comic book fans are really aware of. So I'm guessing it'll benefit from its grounded location, and it's already got a story that's beloved by fans, so based on that I'm excited to see what they would do with it, even if I'm not that interested in who's playing the character. And it would be good to have a comic book character make a return that isn't a well-known one. It's not another superhero movie, even if it is kind of in that same vein. But what do you guys think? Are you interested in this movie, or do you think that the fact that Del Toro and Perlman aren't making a return is a deal breaker for you?